She's number
very
one.
Complicated. That's right. No one's going to talk. They have nothing to say. They're so fucking tired of each other at this point. They're like, done. Oh, hi. I'm Krista. How are you?
I'm well. I'm a big fan. I follow you on Twitter.
Oh, it's so good to meet you. Sarah Silverman, going dark and light and everything, and I smile back. It has everything in it, and it is very intense, and I'm very curious for you. What made you have to do this movie?
Well, I got sent the book years ago, 5 years ago maybe, and I read it, which is not an easy thing for me. I'm a very labored, very slow reader, but thorough, and was happily surprised that somebody being Amy Koppelman, could imagine me in this role when it's, imagine me as someone that she hasn't seen me be already. Mm-hmm. And so she wrote a screenplay, and they said, oh, would we want to attach you to this? That's show business lingo. And I said, sure, because it never occurred to me that it would ever get made, because if it was a real movie, they would attach a movie star.
Right. But you did it, and
then I did it.
You're actually great in it. It's really intense. I mean, you seemingly have this perfect life, these great kids, this nice big house, and you're playing a lot of mothers I recognize. No, but a mom that's just completely spiraling out.
I think that depression and addiction is actually a suburban epidemic that hasn't really been explored very much.
Did you start out as an actress?
I went to college for a minute, and I was a drama student. Mm-hmm. But I slept through most of my classes because I was passing out flyers for a comedy club from 4 p.m. to 2 a.m. every day.
I remember you handing out flyers, actually. You were in the lower, because you were at school with some friends of mine. And you would,
McDougal and Third.
Yes, exactly, in that area. Was that fences, picket fence? What was that, those bars that were there?
Well, it's that corner on Louis where he comes out of the subway and he walks around the corner to the Comedy Cellars, between the Comedy Cellar and the Boston Comedy Club.
Do you ever think about your life if you had stayed in school? What your trajectory would have been?
No, I haven't thought about that. It was a really good move. But then as a comedian, I started doing colleges, and then I would go, oh my God, I would have loved this. Big grassy campuses and this microcosm of a working world, but.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because I was going to ask you about that a little bit later, but I'm just going to go into it now since you brought up colleges. I have been fascinated by this Bill Maher that I saw talking about
With the woman who wrote that piece on The Atlantic.
Yes. With the woman, exactly, about how colleges have become this basically extended country club for 4 years, and the kids are curating their own experience, and how it's just normally been where comedians have gone to kind of, test their material, or it's always the most receptive audience, and now comedians really are just like, no, thank you.
There's a lot of gray matter for me in this, because I didn't agree with everything they were saying. I watched that episode. To a degree, everyone's going to be offended by something, so you can't just decide on your material based on not offending anyone. But I do think it's important as a comedian, as a human, to change with the times, to change with new information. I don't think there's anything wrong with changing with the times. I think it's a sign of being old when you are put off by that. I caught myself a few years ago fighting gay. I say gay, like that's so gay. I just say gay. I have gay friends. I don't mean it like gay. I mean it like it's gay, like it's lame. And then I stopped myself and said, what am I fighting? I have become the guy from 50 years ago who said, I say colored. I have colored friends. It's not hard to change with the times. And I think it's important. And when you have new information and you become more aware of the world around you, you can change. I don't say that things are gay anymore if I think they're lame. I don't even think about it. It didn't take long to get used to it. And to that effect, I think you have to listen to the college-aged, because they lead the revolution. They're pretty much always on the right side of history. The thing that bums me out about colleges sometimes is that it's a sea of iPhones, And because comedy is something where you're connecting, it's a bummer because you just end up saying your jokes to a sea of empty vessels through which Facebook expresses itself. How about this memory card?
Yeah.
You know, you can Google Images me, paste yourself in. What does it mean?